Okay, we've now got our AWS Educate account created, and we're going to go to the AWS console, and we're actually going to use S3 to host our website. So what you need to do after you've got to this page here is simply to click on the AWS console link there. You can see what your remaining credits are and so on. And that will take you to what you would actually see if you were really using, or if you were paying for AWS. So normally if you were paying for Amazon Web Services, you'd come straight to this AWS Management Console, and you'd then be able to access different resources. Now you can see I've used some of these resources before. The services that are available through Amazon Web Services are available under this menu up in the top corner. And you'll see that when you go here, these are all of the things that you can use Amazon servers to do. We're going to just use it for storage in order to host our website. So once you're at the Amazon Web Services console, click on the Services button and then click on S3, and that will take you to the Amazon S3 interface. Now a bucket, you can see here at the moment we've got 0 buckets. A bucket is where you store your files, and so that's like a folder where you can put a whole lot of files. Now one of the cool things about Amazon S3 is because those buckets are already on the internet, sitting on a server in Amazon servers, it means that those buckets can also be used to host websites. And so once you've got a folder, if you put your website files into that bucket, or once you've got a bucket, if you put your website pages into that bucket, you can make them available to people. But you've got to deal with a couple of settings first. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is create a bucket. So here I am in the Amazon S3 interface, and over here on the right hand side we're going to create a bucket. Now because we're not using a domain name, our bucket name is going to be part of the address of our website. So I'm just going to call mine NCS Site 1. Now that has to be a unique name on all of Amazon, because this is sitting on Amazon's servers. You can't use a name that somebody else has already used. And then we're going to stick with the US region. If you were paying, then you would also be able to access other regions, but we'll just stick with the Amazon US region for our bucket. You can also see that down here, because this is a website, what we're actually going to have to do is not block all public access, but we're going to have to allow all public access. And so we're going to untick that box there, which means that people on the internet are going to be able to access our bucket called NCS Site 1. So we're going to allow that public access link. You'll see down here you've got a couple of other options about bucket versioning, which keeps multiple copies of the objects in your bucket, so you can keep a history of things. You can add tags, you can enable encryption, which we don't want for a website. And then you can also go to advanced settings, and you can see you can lock particular objects. The only thing we need to worry about is the name, and that we untick block public access. Now push create bucket. And you've got to tick the box saying that you acknowledge that this means that they are public. Okay, so unticking this means that everything is public. So create the bucket, and that will then create that bucket for you, and you can see there it is. And so now we can configure this bucket. Now it's public, which means that anyone can access it. So what we're also going to have to do is lock down the permissions a bit in order to limit access to that bucket. So we're going to click on the bucket first of all, and you'll see the first tag here allows us to say what objects we want. This is where we'll actually upload our pages later on. The second tab, we're going to go across to properties, and you'll see in here you've got some of those things you looked at before, but we're just going to scroll to the very bottom of this page, and you'll see that right down the bottom there's an option to enable static website hosting, and we want to enable that. You'll see at the moment our static website hosting is disabled. So come across to edit, and we're going to enable website hosting. You'll see it says that this is going to be used for hosting a static website. You could just use it to redirect people to another spot. Because this is a bucket on the internet, you've got to tell it what the home page is going to be. So you'll remember that we've saved our first page as index.html. You can also specify a page that gets returned when there's an error. So you can actually specify an error document as well. We haven't created an error document at this stage, so we haven't got one there. And then you can also write redirection rules, which will redirect people for different websites to different locations, or who come for different pages will redirect them to different locations. Let's save those changes. So all we've done on this page is enable website hosting, said we're going to host a static website, and we've given the name of our index document. Say save. Now at the moment, as I said, our website is open. That means that at the moment our bucket is open, and so people could come and change our bucket. So we're going to have to go across to the permissions tab and add some permissions. Now S3 or Amazon gives us a whole lot of bucket policies, which are able to provide access to objects which are stored in the bucket, or limit access to objects stored in the bucket. And so you'll see at the moment our bucket policy is we've got none. So we've turned off blocking public access so anyone can come and change things in here, but we haven't said how to apply that policy. So our bucket policy now needs to be edited. So we're going to push the edit button, and you'll see that it then gives you this lovely little thing called a policy example. Now, Amazon already has a policy for websites, so we're going to go and find that. So if you push the policy examples button, it'll take you off to the bucket policy examples, and you'll see as we scroll down, there's a bucket policy for static website hosting. So if you click that link for static website hosting, it'll take you across, and you'll see here's our option for setting permissions for website access. So I've gone a couple of pages away now, setting permissions. You'll see here, we've done this already. We turned off the public access. We need to add this bucket policy. So we're scrolling down to step 2, simply copying that code, going back to our S3 bucket, and we're simply going to paste that code in to our bucket. Now you'll see in that code there's an option where you need to actually enter in the bucket name. So whatever your name is up the top here, you need to edit that bucket name to match that bucket. So we're going to make it NCS Site 1, just like that. And then I'm going to save the changes. And that's it. We've now got a website set up, ready for us to actually access. We haven't got any files in there yet. So to put our files in, we go back to the objects page. See here at the moment we've got no objects. We're going to upload our objects, and this is all you would now need to do on your website. Each time you make changes to a page, you just upload the changed version of the page. So here's my files. I want the images folder, the index page, the contact, the gallery, and let's say I want the links page. So I'm going to take those 5 different files, or that one folder and 4 files, and drag and drop them onto my page here, my Amazon page. And you'll see it tells me that that's going to upload the elegant background image, the me JPEG, those 4 HTML files. And when I push upload, it uploads those files. You can see it's currently uploading. Okay, so those files are now sitting in the S3 bucket on the web. Now I've gone very quick here, hopefully you've kept up. I'm now going to close that little upload page. We need to find these pages on the web. So if you jump back to our properties and scroll down to where we set our static website hosting, you'll see there's the address of our static website hosting. So anyone on the internet could now type in that address, and they will come, if I've set it up correctly, to my website. So I'm going to test it out simply by following that link, and there it comes. Now it looks like I forgot to upload my styles file. So you'll see at the moment my web page is loaded, but it's loaded just as an unordered list. There's no styling of that. My div hasn't loaded in because I haven't, or sorry, my div is there, but it's not styled. It's just going with the default styles. So let's go back to my bucket. I now need to go to my objects, and I'm going to come back here to my page. There's my styles, so I'm going to drag and drop that styles one into my bucket. Oh, did I push upload? I don't think I did. Looks like I've uploaded it successfully, so let's close. There it is, there's my index. Okay, so now my styles has uploaded correctly into my bucket. Index is there, my styles are there, so if I go back to my page and I refresh it, my styles load in. And so now you can see my divs come together, my header, my navigation bar, all of the parts of my page have come in. And because I've uploaded the index file, you can see down the bottom the home is linking to index.html. When I go to gallery, it should link to gallery, which is just a placeholder for my gallery. The contact page, I think I uploaded that, so the contact page is there. The about page isn't there, and so I would have to now create an about HTML page, put that into my Amazon S3 bucket, and then that page would become accessible as well. And that's how you set up website hosting using Amazon S3.